Hello and welcome to PowHERhouse Talks webinar. Today is the first webinar that we have out of a series of 3 leading up to the PowHERhouse Talks on January 30th here in Vancouver, British Columbia. And I am just getting organized. For some reason, we still haven't connected with our presenter, Julia. So I'm just quickly... Yeah, just waiting for her. So I apologize for any delay in this. We know it's very, very quick, and we have 30 minutes with you. It's our quick lunch and learn, and we are wanting to basically give you lots of information, jam-packed information, so that you can get the goods and the information that you need and get on with your day. So I'm just waiting for Julia to come in, and just to let you know, today we are covering 3 strategies to grow your business while shrinking your stress levels dramatically. I don't know about you, but being an entrepreneur, solopreneur, even working in a job where you have a lot going on and you might then be raising a family outside of that job, or you're having the job outside of raising your family. We have a lot going on in our lives, and virtual assistants can really help us disperse that. I'm at a critical stage in my business where I'm actually looking to hire a VA, and I am very keen to have this chat with Julia so that she can let me in and give me the lowdown on how I can actually start to grow my business and use a VA to make things a lot easier. So yes, I'm just waiting for Julia to log in. She says from her end that she's logged in and she's waiting for me, and so I just sent her a message to ask her to call me. So now I just have to give her my number. There we go. Okay. And she'll be calling that number anytime soon. So just to get you started, before Julia comes on board, I want to draw your attention to a woman by the name of Charlene Sanjenko, if you haven't already heard of her. She is an amazing star who is a wonderful person who's actually really helping to elevate other women to build their businesses, their professional profiles, and really grow what it is that they're doing. She's attracting some of the most amazing women I've had the opportunity to work with, and there are men as well who are drawn to what she's actually creating. And as a part of her PowHERhouse Talks series, we thought it would be a great idea to do some webinars to help people with some resources to grow their businesses. And so I'm just going to quickly get on to introducing Julia. We have her now on the phone, so I've got her on speakerphone. You'll hear a little giggle. Julia has a financial consulting business, so she's definitely a superstar in the business arena, and she also has a business called Admin Slayers, which I am keen to hire a virtual assistant, and was telling me a little bit about how she's managed to not only save money but make money through doing that. And I've had many professional colleagues over the years tell me this, and yet I have so many questions. So she's going to start by giving us a presentation on some strategies that you can do to grow your business while shrinking your stress levels. And then I'm going to ask questions, and you also have the opportunity to join the talk, join the conversation, and pop your questions in the chat box, and I'll be happy to ask Julia on your behalf. So welcome, Julia Chung. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to this session. It's been on my to-do list for a very long time, and I'm glad that we have you on board to help kind of move things into action.
Yeah, thank you. Really excited to be here. I hope everybody can hear me okay. So the things I want to share today, this time of year, I think most people are feeling a little behind the eight ball. we get out of the holidays and all of a sudden we're hit with all this, oh my God, we're supposed to have planned all these things. You're supposed to have all your goals set. You're supposed to be ready because it's already January, but you weren't thinking about it being January when it was December because you were way too busy with other stuff. So the first thing that I do want to say is it's okay that you don't have all of this ready. I like to think of January as our Hudsons Bay Start. And Hudsons Bay, back in the early days, used to always start every expedition by having an overnight camp out really close to the fort and just testing all their equipment, making sure they had all their supplies, and they were close enough to the fort to stock up and fix anything and make sure they had all the right equipment. So I want everyone to kind of think of January as their Hudsons Bay Start. You don't have to be 100% ready just yet. We can be fully ready when February comes. I always think of, because I'm Chinese, I think of Chinese New Year as the time that I'm supposed to be actually ready, and the time between January 1st and that Chinese New Year is my Hudson's Bay Start. So I definitely want to invite you to take a little pressure off yourself, give yourself the time to have your Hudson's Bay Start and get ready for the year. You don't have to be ready already. So that's definitely my first one. And so as part of your planning for the year ahead, what I'd like you to take a look at doing is look over all the things that it takes to do to run your business, from earning new prospects to taking on new customers to keeping your customers, and outside of that, to running your company. What are all the individual tasks that you're doing? Take some time to write down what these are. Don't go into lots and lots of detail, because that's one of the ways that we're really good at procrastinating, is spending a lot of time on detail. Just jot down bullet points. What do I do? What are the tasks that are involved in marketing my business? What are the tasks that are involved in selling my service or product? What are the tasks that are involved in providing my customers with the service they need? What are the tasks that are involved to operate my company? When you look at them, they can be a little bit overwhelming, but just jot them down. Don't spend a lot of time on it, and understand what it is that is required to run your business. And once you've done that, you can take a look at that big list, and usually people will say, especially if you're running a solo business, oh my God, there's so much to do. Like, this is way too much for one person. So step back, try not to get too stressed out about it. And once you've got that inventory, I want you to try and just divide them. Divide them into 4 sections. And we've created a sheet that we are going to share with you to do this division. And I want you to divide them. First, take all the things off the list that you absolutely hate. There's something on there that you just hate doing. One of the things that I absolutely hate doing is following up with my clients. It's really necessary, following up and saying, hey, you know, there's stuff that we need to gather and information and that kind of thing. But I just hate doing it. I like doing these things. I don't like doing repetitive or management things. So that I'm going to take, and I'm going to put it into the box called incompetent activities. These are the things I don't like and I'm bad at. I'm going to throw all of those things in there. And that's sort of relieving to take them all off your list. Just put them over there and say, this is not what I need to be doing. I don't make money here. I'm not good at it. And it's just not helping when I'm doing those things. Put those all in the box. Then look at the rest of your list. Start looking for competent activities. These are things you're good at. You don't love doing them, but you're pretty good at. You're okay at it. And start transferring all those activities from your task inventory onto that list. This is the competent box. You are competent here. This is also what I would like to call the procrastination box. One of the things about running a business is that it's scary. And when we get a little freaked out, we tend to spend some time here in the competent activities. It might be stuff that doesn't take a lot of your brain power or your energy or your time. And it certainly doesn't make you money. But what it does do is makes you feel like you're doing something, working towards your business while you actually escape the stuff that you're supposed to be doing. So this is the procrastination box. It's stuff that needs to be done that you're okay at doing, and you use this as an excuse not to do your other stuff. And then the third section is good activities. They're things you like doing. you're pretty good at it. They might make you some money. You can toss all those in there. And then the final box is your excellent activities. These are things that you do that are unique to you. These are things that you get excited about. You do this task and you actually have more energy while doing it and after doing it than you did beforehand. These are tasks that people say, wow, you know, Sherry, you are so good at this. This is the reason why I need to come talk to you. Because, you know, like, for instance, with you, you make people feel comfortable around food, right? Because especially as women, we can sometimes feel like really awkward around food. This is your place. This is what you like doing, you feel good about doing, and people comment on it all the time. You want to put your excellent activities in there. And once you have this list of 4 quadrants, you have a pretty good idea between your tasks inventory and your quadrant of activities. You know what it takes to run your business, and you know the activities that you should be doing that make you money. So that's, you know, step 1, step 2. Pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do we do with this information? The first thing that you want to do is take those incompetent activities and get them off your plate. These incompetent activities waste your time. They cost you money. And what I mean by they cost you money is, like, for instance, I am a really, really bad house cleaner. I am not good at this. And I hate it. It makes me super angry to clean things. You can ask my partner Glenn about this too. He's like, oh my God, no, please stop cleaning. You are so mean when you're cleaning. And not only am I mean and horrible, I'm also really bad at it. Like, I don't do a good job, and it takes me forever. So a couple years ago, I broke down and hired my friend who had just opened a cleaning business to come clean my house. And she completed in 2 hours what I could not complete in an entire weekend. And I'm literally working the whole time, and I'm being angry, and I'm doing a bad job. And an entire weekend, she cleaned my house top to bottom in 2 hours. In an entire weekend, I might get a bathroom done. And when you think about that, how much does that cost me in time, right? How much money could I be making? How much better could I be treating my family? And how much cleaner is my house, right? She charged me $25 an hour. For $50, my house is clean top to bottom. And she has saved me something like 20 hours and done a better job. And that's what I'm talking about, where these tasks cost you money. Because when you're doing them, you're not making money. And you need to get away from them. So the incompetent tasks are the absolute worst. Those ones are generally easy to get rid of. They're easy to let go of from a delegation standpoint because you hate them. So you're like, yeah, do that. Oh, thank God, I'm never doing that again. And you're happy to move past them. What's harder is letting go of competent activities, because, like I said before, this is your procrastination space. This is what you do when you're afraid to pick up the phone and make a call, to call your client, or to make a new prospect call, or to set up a meeting, or any of the things that scare you that are important that you do. And these, like I said, just so hard to let go of. I was talking to another planner today, and she loves doing reconciliation in her bookkeeping. I have no idea why, but she likes doing it. She finds it relaxing. And it might not be the best example, but I would consider that one of those competent activities that she shouldn't be doing. It doesn't make her money. It isn't her special, unique quality. It isn't the thing that people say, oh my God, you are so good at that. That is why I talk to you before I talk to anybody else. And every moment that you're spending there in that activity, where maybe you're doing it roughly okay or pretty good, just as good as somebody else who you could pay to do it. But it's a waste of your time because it doesn't make you money and it doesn't move you forward. So like I said, these are the hardest ones to let go of, because you could say, well, I can pay somebody else X number of dollars an hour to do this, or I could do it myself. The other person might do it, you know, as well as I do. So why would I pay them if they don't do it better? And this is one of the hardest questions about delegation, is, well, if I can do it better, or if it takes me 10 more minutes to train them to do it, I'm going to try and do it myself. And when you do that, you get caught in the procrastination trap. This is the kind of thing that is stopping you from growing your business. And it's really, really hard to let go of. So what I say with these kind of activities is, if you can find somebody else who can do it 80% as well as you, it doesn't have to be 100%, 80% as well as you, are activities that do not make you money and are not commented on by other people, is the place where you really add value. 80% is okay. It's worth it. Get it off your plate. And then you want to concentrate on spending at least 75% of your time in the excellent activities. 25% of your time you'll probably be spending in good activities. Over the long term, you'll start training other people and outsourcing this kind of thing to other people. But certainly when you're in your first 5 or so years of business, you're usually going to be doing both the excellent and the good activities. But the end goal is to be spending 100% of your time in excellent activities, because you get energy out of it. It grows your business. It makes you money. People are excited about you doing it. I mean, why wouldn't you want to spend all your time there?
Makes a lot of sense.
Oh, good.
Julia. So you also gave us another handout, which I've put up on the screen right now, the step 1 business tasks inventory, which we'll be sending out to everyone who's registered. So can you just tell us a little bit about that handout?
Well, that is basically, that's that first step when you figure out all your different tasks that it takes to run your business. And this is an example of some of those tasks that at Admin Slayer we look at for tasks that the administrators, the slayers, could be doing for people in each area. And certainly there's a lot of different other things that can fall into there. But when you take a look at those tasks, and that's a really good starting point to use as an example for your own task list. And take a look at them. How many of these are things that are special and unique to you? How many of these fall into your excellent activities? Just definitely use this as a launching pad for outlining your business task, because it can be kind of hard to get started. So that's why I wanted that as a handout available to people so they have an idea of what it means.
Thank you. So is it time to ask questions, or do you have some more things that you wanted to cover?
No, that's pretty much it. Okay,
great, because I have tons of questions. So the first one is, how do you handle hiring, or what advice would you give as far as getting a VA when you have inconsistent income from month to month?
Well, and that's really when you want a VA. You know, if you know that you have super consistent income, it's a lot easier to plan around having staff.
Yeah.
You can say, oh yeah, no, I have X number of dollars that's coming in, and I can carve that out and apply that to a VA. Easy peasy. But when you don't know, then that's when a VA becomes really handy, because you can use as many hours as you can afford or you need to work with them. And so some VAs, most of the VAs that I've seen available in Canada usually have kind of a minimum hour requirement, you know, when you set up with them. At Admin Slayer, we don't, but I completely understand why a VA would do that. If they're a solo virtual assistant, they need to know that they're going to get X number of hours, or else their business is going to work. Because Admin Slayer is a team of slayers, we have built and structured the business such that you don't have to commit to any minimums. You can just use it as you need it. I would definitely say, when you talk to somebody who could be a prospective VA for you, get to know, you know, do you have any monthly minimums, or do you just work as we go? And if they say, oh no, we work as we go, and if you have some limitations, just say that. You know what, I want to target X number of dollars to this month. I know I can afford that, and so this is what I want to do. Virtual assistants are paid on time, and they track their time, so they can very easily be saying to you, oh, okay, you know, I'll apply this many hours and it's going to cost you that much this month, and make sure they're reporting to you at Admin Slayer, again, we have weekly reports that are sent to our clients that say, these are the tasks we completed for you. This is how long it will take. This is how much this week will cost you when we get to the invoicing part. So make sure you're getting good records. Make sure you're stating your intent with your virtual assistant about what you can afford and what you want to achieve as far as spending and that kind of thing.
And so are there different prices for different skills with Slayers?
There definitely is. And I mean, depending on what kind of VA you're working with, the prices can definitely range. What we found with the way that we've designed it is that most of the standard administration work stuff that falls under the marketing, sales, and service areas, we can charge one flat fee for that. Where we found that there is some different pricing is probably in the bookkeeping area, because people need a lot more expertise to be really good at bookkeeping. And I think it's worth noting that amateurs are more expensive than professionals and experts, because they take longer and they charge you more hours. So when you're thinking about stuff like, oh, this VA wants to charge me $25 an hour, this VA wants to charge me $50 an hour, obviously it's cheaper if it's $25. That's not necessarily true. Because if you have a really good, expert, efficient VA, they are spending way less time producing way better results, and you're actually going to spend less money on them, even though it looks like the hourly rate is high. So I just really want to put that forward.
And how do you know that it's someone who actually is charging that because they perform at that level, or they just feel that they can get that? With a virtual assistant, how do you actually determine those things?
Well, that's the hardest thing that I found when I went originally looking for a virtual assistant, was literally, how do you know? And so when I found my first virtual assistant, which is Shannon, who's the chief slayer at Admin Slayer, it was word of mouth. It was just somebody I knew. My business coach at the time actually said, this lady's great. I trust her inherently. I use her myself. And I've seen the work that she had done with my business coach. And I said, yeah, okay, I get it. I know how professional she is. But I recognized that was exactly the problem. When people were coming to me when they found out about Shannon, they're like, oh my God, how do I get a Shannon? And I said, back off, she's mine. But what I was finding is, like, how do you know? Mm-hmm. Who's monitoring these people, and who's making sure that things are being appropriately managed when it's an area you don't want to manage? And not to be too salesy, but that is literally why we created Admin Slayer, because it's got internal oversights, checks, balances. We do all the hiring, we do all the training, all that kind of thing, to make sure that you're getting the highest level of quality. Because I just felt like that was exactly what was missing in the market, was the ability to know that somebody's watching your back to make sure that the people you're hiring are doing the job they're supposed to be doing, and that you're getting the very best value out of them.
So, Julia, what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see when people are first starting to hire VAs, apart from, going just based on price? But what are some of the common things that people can avoid?
Yeah, I think definitely talk to your VA. I think people can be really uncommunicative, and communication is really everything. Lay out your expectations. Get a really clear understanding. Open the kimono. I mean, when I first started with Shannon, she said a few times, like, it kind of shocked me. You just threw everything at me. And I said, yeah, I did, because I don't think that you're going to be successful unless I chuck all the stuff at you and say, here, what can you do? So open it up. Don't be scared, because I think we can be a little tentative, like, oh, if I open up the kimono, they might see that I am so incredibly crap at bookkeeping, or I've forgotten to email this client like 6 months ago and I'm kind of hiding from it in my competent tasks. That's what your VA is for. They're not there to judge you. That there is work for them. That's a good opportunity. So you need to be super honest and say, these are the things I'm struggling with. I'm really bad here. Need your help. Ask your VA to be proactive. If your VA is just a task taker, they're not helping you out that much, because you're still managing it. You want your VA to be proactive and say, I'm seeing these opportunities inside your business. One of the neat things about VAs is because they work with multiple businesses, they can say, you know what, I'm doing this thing over here with this client, and that could really apply to you here. You know, I know with Admin Slayer, Shannon took a particular marketing strategy that I had used inside JYC Financial, and she said, is it okay if I share that with a mortgage broker we're working with? And I said, yeah, all the power to you. Absolutely, she should be doing that. And so she gave that whole process, which was already developed, to the mortgage broker, and the mortgage broker used it as well. So you get some of that benefit, which I think is really useful.
Right. And what about some tips on relinquishing control? Like, you know, that whole thing about delegating, there's that piece about relinquishing control, and just that I actually have two-parters, so I'll just start with that one.
Okay, well, definitely you don't want to relinquish control blindly. At the end of the day, this is still your business. So you're not just handing it to somebody and walking away. That is a super bad idea. So it could, because you know, this person can go away like any other staff member. You're always there. So a couple of things. One, I think you should have your VA start making you a procedure manual, a written procedure manual of how to do the tasks that they do, and you own it. Right? You pay them for the time to do it, but you own that procedure manual. You can pass that on to someone else that you hire in the future.
Awesome.
Yeah, and two, use a really good task manager, CRM manager system. So we use an online one, and it's great. She can log into it. I can log into it. We put tasks up on it. Every time she completes a task, I can see it in my window.
Right.
I know it's been done.
Oh,
Every time I log into a client, just to be like, what's been going on, I can see it. It's been done. I can see every email she sent to every one of my clients. It's not about, that part's not about trust. It's about properly running your business. So make sure you have systems. If you don't have a system like that, ask your VA. That's your VA should know how to set up a system like that for you.
And when you first started, take us back to the first time you got a VA, and you know, the feeling of possibly overwhelmed, that relinquishing of, control aspect. Did it go smoothly for you, or did you have any hiccups? Because I mean, you started, it sounds like, with a rock star. So
I did, and that was kind of that's part of the benefit, right? And I think that's, when you read a lot of articles, they're always talking about hiring the right people, and the response is always like, well, how am I supposed to know if I'm hiring the right people? It's just really so difficult. But hiring the right people is actually the way to start. Like I said before, amateurs are more expensive than experts. They cost you time, they cost you money. You should not be training those people. I did not have to train Shannon. She already had customer service skills. She already knew how to use a lot of the things we were using. We implemented the CRM system that we are using because my partner, Kristen, who handles a lot of our marketing, she did a whole bunch of research, and she said, this is the CRM system for you, because she knew my business. And I was like, cool.
right.
And I was like, you guys talk to each other, work it out, let me know how it goes, write it down so I know how to process it later. But I'm quite comfortable with relinquishing control on things that I'm not good at. I'm okay with not being good at everything, and I know that can be a hard thing to overcome. But I've gone through this excellent, good, and competent and incompetent activities quite a few times. And I think that concept, just remembering that where you add value and where you make money because you're adding value is in those excellent and good activities. And any time that you're spending in those competent and incompetent activities are costing you money. And that concept is very clear to me. I went through a program called Strategic Coach many years ago, and they were very big on this. And that concept really resonates with me. And it's been proven time and time again. And even if you pay attention to yourself when you're doing these activities, ask yourself how much time you spent and how much money you could have made if you were in your excellent activity during that time. And yes, really relate that. Like, this is costing me money.
Right. Well, Julia, it's amazing how quickly that actually happened. I literally probably could ask you about, 10 more questions just off the top of my head. But our lunch and learn, our 30 minutes is almost up. So I just want to give, a little shout out to you for your business, Admin Slayer. On the screen now, you'll see on the webinar, if you want to email, it's info@adminslayer.com. The web address is adminslayer.com, and you'll see the Twitter and Facebook handles up there on the screen as well. I want to thank Julia for giving us that insight into hiring a VA and how it can actually help us grow our business and lessen our stress. And I think that's, for me, lifestyle is huge and important. So lessening stress while growing my business is inspiring. So we need to chat separate to this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a shout out to the inspiration for these Lunch and Learn webinars actually happening is Charlene Sanjenko, who is hosting PowHERhouse Talks, PowHER Talks, here in Vancouver on January 30th, 2016. So if you're on our website right now, we actually have, I think there should be, I had a thing that actually had all the connection to, if you go to PowHERtalks.com, you will actually find, and it's POWHER, just like here up on the screen, Talks, and go to the events page. You will find where you can actually register to attend the January 30th PowHER Talks, where we have 18 speakers. Julie is actually hosting, and I've been to 2 of these events in the past. I'm actually have been invited to speak in Vancouver, which I'm really excited about. And I have to say, the caliber of the speakers, the topics, there's some really powerful women in the room, and just the really beautiful souls. And there's great networking. There's exhibiting opportunities and opportunities to check out local businesses. And we would love to see you there. So if you would like to register for that, just go to PowHER Talks, POWHER Talks.com, to the events page to join us in Vancouver on January 13th, which is not far away. So thanks again, Julia, for joining us. I really appreciate all that information that you've shared. If you're registered for this webinar, we will actually email those PDFs that Julia has created through her via her Admin Slayer to you, so you can actually help get on to that, getting January set up to really be ready in February. And that really was helpful to me as well, Julia. So
good.
Thanks so much. And
thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone for attending. We hope to see you at the PowHER Talks January 30th in Vancouver.